Well, I saw yesterday last week on Hulu. Well, it's on HBO, but the HBO add-on, and it's a nice little kind of romantic kind of fable about a struggling musician who one day wakes up after a blackout and finds out nobody knows what the Beatles are. In a conversation, just like almost anybody, because the Beatles are so big, he mentions the Beatles and he was playing one of their songs, and they're like, "Oh, that's one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard," and this and that, and he gets so frustrated. He's like, because they all act like they don't know who the Beatles are after decades of the Beatles ruling the world, you know. So I was kind of surprised. I didn't know too much about the movie. I knew I wanted to see it, but Ed Sheeran and Kate McKinnon are in it, and Kate McKinnon is amusing as usual, you know, from Saturday Night Live. So what happened was that there's a little bit of romantic tension going on between him and one of the other main characters. And I'm sure some people were just sitting there watching, probably like, when are they gonna get together, or are they gonna get together? And it's a delightful movie. It's just a nice kind of a nice harmless movie. I bet one of my ex-girlfriends who's a huge Beatle fan probably like it. I think I'll ask her sometime after I'm done uploading this review. But yeah, he little by little, just like any other musician, he starts climbing the ladder of fortune and fame on using Beatles songs. And since no one knows who the Beatles are, or does anybody in the world, he just wanted to share the Beatles music with people, and little by little, he got him famous. So even in this time, if you weren't a bad musician, if there were no Beatles but you remember them, you could become like your own one man Beatles. And it does have the typical what price success theme, you know, fame and fortune, but that's kind of all you have, and that's all your agents and managers want you to have because they get a cut of it and all that sort of thing. So the acting is fine. It isn't too bad. And of course, you know, the music is pretty nice. And some people think that they do it all the time in all kinds of movies and stuff and shows. Some people say, including at least one of the critics on YouTube, that a dream sequence that you don't know is a dream sequence. It starts out like any other scene and then the person wakes up. Some people say that that's just, it's an unnecessary trick. It's cliche, which it is. And I'm not complaining because it's kind of like they show the unthinkable, but then it turns out it doesn't happen. So it's all right. So really what I could say is this is a nice little jukebox musical. Still not as good as Across the Universe. It has more of a story, to be honest, but just as a filmic experience, the Across the Universe was a different thing, and it as a linear story, it has at least a lot of flaws. But this here, Yesterday, which is also one of my favorite Beatles songs, Yesterday is just a nice little movie with, you know, a lot of Beatles music and some romance and some, you know, what price success sentiment. So I certainly recommend it. Maybe if you don't like the Beatles, but I'd say it's a well-known movie set in Great Britain, set in England. Well, at first it is. So, and it follows what some of the newer musicals, But a lot of biopics and stuff, do music biopics like Bohemian Rhapsody, and I think some other recent ones, where every time that they show, when the scene changes, especially to a concert venue, it says the name of the concert venue, London or Wembley. And so anyway, it's a very recommended movie, and that's basically all I could say. It's a pretty simple movie, so simple review. So it's recommended, and this is George. Till next time, saying it's a wrap. Ciao.